Ladies and gentlemen, the clock is ticking and the countdown has begun. In just a short while, 2025 will come knocking at your door. And I need you to understand something: you don't have time to tiptoe through life anymore. This is your wake-up call. The time for excuses, procrastination, and hesitation is over. You've been playing it safe for far too long, and 2025 won't wait for you to get ready. You've got to be ready. It is the single most powerful action you can take to change your life. You see, everything begins with a decision. Not a vague wish, not a half-hearted attempt, but a firm, unshakable decision that says, no matter what happens, I will make this work. The moment you decide, truly decide, you ignite something within you that cannot be stopped. You activate a power that has been dormant, waiting for you to step into it. Far too often, people let life decide for them. They drift through their days, hoping that circumstances will align, that the stars will shift, that the perfect moment will arrive before they take action. But let me tell you something: life doesn't reward the indecisive. Life doesn't wait for you to feel ready. The greatest achievers in history weren't ready when they started. They were scared. They were unsure. But they decided to act anyway. They decided to take control of their destiny, to no longer let fear or doubt keep them small. The moment you decide, you begin to cut away the noise. You stop letting distractions, excuses, and negativity take up space in your life. You stop entertaining conversations that keep you stuck, and you start focusing on what really matters. You see, decision creates clarity. When you make a decision, your priorities shift. The people you surround yourself with change. The way you spend your time becomes intentional. You no longer let life push you around because you've taken a stand. But deciding isn't just about saying what you want. It's about backing that decision with action and commitment. You can't say, I've decided to change my life, and then continue to do the same things you've always done. You can't decide to be successful and then hit the snooze button every morning. Real decisions require sacrifice. They require discipline. They demand that you stop living in your comfort zone and start doing the hard things you've been avoiding. What are you waiting for? Decide that you are done with average. Decide that you will no longer settle for less than you deserve. Decide that you will take responsibility for your life, for your results, and for your future. Because if you don't make the decision, someone else will make it for you. Society will decide how you live. Your fears will decide what you try. Your circumstances will decide who you become. And you'll wake up one day filled with regret, wondering where the time went. Don't let that happen to you. I need you to understand that indecision is a killer. It robs you of your power. It keeps you stuck in limbo, paralyzed by what ifs and doubts. Indecision is like standing at a crossroads forever, afraid to take a step in any direction. And here's the truth: no decision is worse than the wrong decision. When you decide, even if you fail, you gain something valuable. You learn, you grow, you get back up and make a better decision next time. But if you stand still, if you do nothing, nothing will change. If you want something you've never had before, you must decide to do something you've never done before. Maybe you've been afraid of stepping out on your own, starting that business, changing careers, or going after that dream. Maybe you've been telling yourself it's not the right time. But let me tell you this: there will never be a perfect time. Life will always present challenges. There will always be reasons to wait. But when you decide to move forward, despite the obstacles, despite the fear, you send a message to the universe that says, I am ready, I am willing. I will not stop until I get what I came for. Every day you are making decisions, whether you realize it or not. You're deciding what to focus on. You're deciding who to listen to. You're deciding whether to take action or to stay still. You're deciding whether to build your dreams or let them slip through your fingers. And those decisions add up. They create your life. So I'm asking you, what are you deciding today? Are you deciding to give in to your excuses, to let fear control you, to let another year pass without taking action? Or are you deciding that enough is enough? That you are done playing small? That you will rise up and claim your future? There's a story I love about a warrior who sailed to a distant land with his troops. When they reached the shore, he turned to his men and ordered them to burn the ships. His soldiers looked at him in shock, asking, "Why would you do that? How will we get home?" The warrior replied, "We will not retreat. We will not surrender. We will win or we will die trying." And guess what? They won. Because they had no other option. They had decided. That is the level of commitment you must bring to your life. When you make a decision, you must burn the ships of doubt, excuses, and backup plans. You must tell yourself, I am all in. There is no turning back. Because when you have no way out, when you decide that failure is not an option, you unlock a part of yourself that you didn't even know existed. You find strength, courage, and determination that push you past the limits you thought were holding you back. Decide today that 2025 will not be just another year. Decide that this is your year to rise. Decide that you will no longer accept the life you've been living if it doesn't set your soul on fire. Decide to take the leap, to believe in yourself, to do the work, and to refuse to quit. You have everything you need inside of you. Now all that's left is for you to decide. Well, commit. The difference between people who dream and those who achieve lies in one word: commitment. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's not having the right connections or the perfect timing. It's the relentless, unwavering commitment to show up and give everything you have, no matter how hard it gets. Commitment is the bridge between wanting something and actually having it. It's the force that separates those who try from those who succeed. When you commit, you declare to yourself and the world that you're all in. There's no back door, no escape hatch, no maybe I'll quit if it gets too hard. Commitment means staying in the fight long after the excitement wears off, long after the first round of motivation fades. You keep showing up, you keep working, you keep believing, even when you don't see results right away. That's what real commitment looks like. Most people give up too soon. They start with enthusiasm, but when they hit the first obstacle, when the path becomes uncomfortable, they back down. You know the type. They say they're going to change their life, but after a week, they're back to their old habits. They say they're going to chase their dreams, but the first failure knocks them out of the game. Why? Because they weren't committed. They were interested. There's a difference. When you're interested in something, you do it when it's convenient. You do it when you feel like it. But when you're committed, you do it no matter what. You push through the resistance. You find a way, not an excuse. When you're committed, you don't wait for motivation to strike. You create your own momentum. You get up and go to work, even when you're tired, even when you're discouraged, even when no one else believes in you. Commitment is what turns ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. It's not flashy. It's not glamorous. Commitment is showing up every day, doing the hard, unsexy work that no one sees. It's the late nights, the early mornings, the sacrifices that no one applauds. It's putting in the time, the sweat, and the effort, even when no one is watching, even when it feels like nothing is happening. But here's the truth: something is happening. Every time you show up, you're building momentum. Every time you refuse to quit, you're strengthening your resolve. Every time you choose to stay committed, you're getting closer to your breakthrough. You may not see it today, you may not see it tomorrow, but commitment guarantees that progress is being made, even when you don't see it yet. Let me ask you something. How committed are you? Are you willing to sacrifice your comfort for your future? Are you willing to let go of excuses, distractions, and instant gratification to chase what truly matters to you? Because here's the hard truth: you can't have it both ways. You can't have your excuses and your success. You can't stay comfortable and achieve greatness. You have to choose. When you commit to your goals, your habits change, your mindset changes, the way you carry yourself changes. You stop waiting for the right time and you start creating the right time. You stop complaining about your circumstances and you start building solutions. You stop blaming others and you take full responsibility for your life. Because when you're truly committed, nothing can stop you. Not fear, not failure, not rejection, not self-doubt. You see, commitment isn't just a word. It's an agreement you make with yourself. It's a contract that says, no matter what comes my way, I will not quit. I will show up. I will keep moving forward. And when you honor that agreement, you become unstoppable. You become someone who refuses to be denied, someone who turns obstacles into opportunities, someone who makes the impossible possible. But commitment doesn't mean perfection. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to have bad days. You're going to stumble and fall. That's part of the process. Commitment isn't about never falling. It's about getting back up every time you do. It's about refusing to let failure define you. It's about showing up tomorrow, no matter how hard today was. Here's what I know: people who commit are the ones who succeed. Not because they're the smartest, the strongest, or the most talented, but because they refused to quit when others did. They kept going when it would have been easier to stop. They stayed focused when others got distracted. They stayed in the game when others walked away. And in the end, they're the ones who made it because their commitment carried them across the finish line. Look at anyone you admire, anyone who has achieved something extraordinary, and you'll see one common thread: they were committed. They didn't dabble. They didn't wait for luck. They didn't hope for a shortcut. They committed. They worked. They sacrificed. They stayed consistent. And because of that, they turned their dreams into reality. So I'm asking you today, what are you willing to commit to? What dream, what goal, what vision are you willing to fight for? How badly do you want it? Because your level of commitment will determine your level of success. It's not enough to say you want something. You have to prove it with your actions. Commitment is the key that unlocks the door to your future. But you have to turn the key. You have to decide that quitting is not an option. You have to commit to the process, to the struggle, to the grind. And if you do, if you truly commit, you will get there. It won't happen overnight. It won't be easy. But it will be worth it. So don't just be interested. Be committed. Commit to your dreams. Commit to your goals. Commit to becoming the person you were born to be. Because when you commit, there is no limit to what you can achieve. Take action. That's the difference maker. That's where dreams either rise or die. It doesn't matter how much you think, plan, or hope without action. Nothing changes. Action is the currency of success. It's the engine that turns thoughts into results, intentions into achievements, and dreams into reality. Every great story, every major success began with one simple step: action. The truth is, too many people get stuck in the trap of overthinking. They analyze every angle, look for the perfect plan, and hesitate at every turn. They convince themselves that they need more time, more resources, or more confidence. But time slips away while they sit on the sidelines, paralyzed by indecision. And here's what you need to understand: imperfect action beats perfect inaction every single time. You don't need to have all the answers to take the first step. You don't need to know exactly how it's going to turn out. What you need is the courage to begin. That's it. Start where you are with what you have and trust that you'll figure it out along the way. Because taking action does something powerful. It builds momentum. And momentum is what turns small steps into giant leaps. Think of it like pushing a boulder. At first it's heavy. It's difficult. You strain and sweat and it barely moves. But then with enough effort, it starts to roll. It gets easier. It picks up speed. That's how action works. The first step is the hardest, but once you start moving, you begin to build a rhythm. You gain confidence. You see progress, and suddenly you're no longer pushing, you're gliding. But the truth is, most people never push that boulder. They tell themselves stories about why they can't start. It's not the right time. I don't know enough yet. What if I fail? These excuses sound convincing, but they're just fear in disguise. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of leaving the comfort of the known. And that fear keeps people stuck. But here's what you need to know: inaction is far more dangerous than failure. When you take action, you might stumble, you might fall, but at least you're moving forward. Inaction keeps you exactly where you are, locked in place while life passes you by. Do you want to know what the most successful people in the world have in common? It's not that they're fearless, it's that they act in spite of their fear. They take risks. They try, they fall, they fail, and they get back up. They keep moving. Because action, even messy, uncomfortable action, is what creates growth. It's what builds strength. It's what separates the winners from the ones who never even showed up. Taking action doesn't mean you'll get it right the first time. It doesn't mean you'll succeed overnight. You won't. You're going to fail. You're going to make mistakes. And that's okay, because action isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Each step, each attempt teaches you something. It sharpens you. It makes you better. Every failure becomes a lesson. Every setback becomes part of your story. And when you keep moving forward, you'll realize that even the hard days were preparing you for your success. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for a sign. You don't need another webinar, another book, or another pep talk. You already know what you need to do. You've been carrying that dream, that goal, that vision in your heart for far too long. It's time to move. It's time to take action. If you've been wanting to start a business, take the first step. Research. Register the name. Talk to someone who's done it. If you've been wanting to get in shape, put on your shoes and go for a walk. Start small, but start now. Don't let another day slip away without taking a step toward the life you want. There's a principle called the rule of 5. Imagine you're trying to cut down a tree. Every day you take an axe and you swing at that tree 5 times, just 5 swings. It doesn't matter how big the tree is or how long it takes. If you keep swinging day after day, eventually that tree will fall. That's the power of consistent action. Small, steady effort compounds over time. Most people quit because they don't see immediate results. But those who keep showing up, who keep swinging that axe, will see their hard work pay off. Action is what turns hope into reality. It's the fuel for your dreams. But you have to be willing to step into the unknown. You have to be willing to take risks. Yes, it's scary. Yes, it's uncomfortable. But so is staying stuck. So is living with regret. Don't let fear rob you of your future. You're stronger than your fear. You're more capable than you realize. But you'll never know what's possible until you take that first step. Right now, there is a version of you who has already achieved everything you want. That version of you exists because they made different choices. They took action when you hesitated. They kept going when you stopped. They fought for their dreams when you let yours sit on the shelf. You have to decide which version of yourself you're going to be. Will you be the one who says, I could have, or the one who says, I did? Taking action is the ultimate expression of belief. When you act, you're telling yourself, I can do this. I will do this. And every time you take action, no matter how small, you prove to yourself that you're capable. Confidence doesn't come before action. It comes from action. It's built through the process of showing up and trying again and again and again until you win. So today, right now, make a commitment to take action. Not tomorrow, not next week. Today, start where you are. Do what you can with what you have. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to begin. Because nothing happens without action. Dreams don't just fall into your lap. You have to go out and build them. And when you do, when you take that first step, you'll realize that you had the power to change your life all along. All it required was action. Believe. Belief is the foundation upon which everything in your life is built. If you don't believe in yourself, in your abilities, in your dreams, then you've already lost the battle before it's even begun. You see, belief isn't just a mindset, it's a force. It's the energy that drives you forward when the odds are stacked against you. It's the quiet whisper in your soul that says, yes, I can, when everything around you screams, no, you can't. Belief is the spark that turns ideas into reality, that transforms effort into achievement. Without belief, no amount of talent, no amount of resources, no amount of opportunity will matter because you will sabotage yourself before you ever get started. Belief begins in the mind. The thoughts you entertain, the words you speak, the way you view yourself, it all matters. Too many people allow their doubts to shape their lives. They say, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, or I'm not lucky enough. They talk themselves out of their own success before they even try. But let me tell you something, your mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant in it will grow. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and negativity, that's what will take root. That's what will spread. But if you plant seeds of faith, belief, and confidence, you will grow strength, determination, and courage. It's a choice you make every day. What kind of seeds are you planting? Belief is powerful because it shapes how you show up. When you believe in yourself, you carry yourself differently. You speak with authority, you act with purpose, you take risks because you trust that you'll figure it out. You don't let failure stop you because you know that failure isn't the end, it's just part of the process. When you believe in yourself, you don't wait for permission or approval from others. You don't need someone else to validate you because you already know what you're capable of. That's the power of belief. But here's the truth. No one is born with unshakable belief. It's something you build. It's something you cultivate. And you build it by showing up and proving to yourself that you are capable. You see, belief isn't about being fearless. It's about having the courage to act, even when you're scared. It's about trusting that you can handle whatever life throws your way. How do you build that kind of belief? You take action. You step outside of your comfort zone. You do the things that scare you. Every time you take action, no matter how small, you prove to yourself that you can. That's how belief grows. Think about a child learning to walk. At first, they fall over and over again, but they don't quit. They don't say, walking isn't for me. No, they keep trying. They get back up. And with each attempt, they get stronger. They build belief in themselves because they show up again and again until one day they're walking. The same principle applies to you. The more you show up, the more you try, the more you push through failure, the more you will believe in yourself. It's a cycle. Action builds belief, and belief drives more action. Here's the thing about belief. It doesn't come from the outside. It doesn't come from what other people say about you. It doesn't come from your circumstances. It comes from within. If you're waiting for someone else to believe in you before you start, you'll be waiting a long time. You have to believe in yourself first. You have to trust that you have what it takes to figure it out, no matter what. People will doubt you. Life will test you. You'll face moments where everything seems to be falling apart. But if you have belief, you will endure. You will rise. You will keep going when others quit. Look at anyone who has achieved something extraordinary, and you'll find one common thread. They believed. They believed in themselves when no one else did. They believed in their vision when everyone told them it was impossible. They believed when they had nothing but a dream and a willingness to work for it. And because they believed, they created a reality that others couldn't see. That's the power of belief. It allows you to see beyond your current circumstances. It allows you to envision a future that's bigger than your present. But belief isn't just about thinking positively, it's about backing up that belief with action. You can't just sit around saying, I believe in myself, while doing nothing to prove it. You have to work. You have to hustle. You have to show up every day with the intention to back up that belief with effort. Because belief without action is empty. But when you combine belief with action, you become unstoppable. You may be thinking, what if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? Let me tell you this, failure doesn't mean you're not good enough. Failure doesn't mean you're done. Failure is simply feedback. It's a lesson. It's an opportunity to adjust, to grow, to get better. If you believe in yourself, failure won't stop you. It will fuel you. You'll look at every setback as a stepping stone toward success because you trust that in the end you will win. You have to decide to believe in yourself, even when it's hard, even when you don't feel ready, even when you've been knocked down more times than you can count. You have to remind yourself that you are stronger than your challenges. You are capable of more than you realize. And you are worthy of every dream that's in your heart. Belief is the foundation. It's where everything begins. If you want to achieve something in 2025, if you want to take your life to the next level, you must start with belief. Believe that you are capable. Believe that you are worthy. Believe that you have the power to create the life you want. And when you believe it, truly believe it, you'll begin to act like it. You'll begin to move like it. And the world will respond to you in kind. Belief is the spark. You are the fire. It's time to burn brightly and show the world what you're made of. Focus. The power of focus cannot be overstated. In a world full of distractions, where every notification, every email, and every conversation pulls at your attention, the ability to focus is more valuable than ever. Focus is what separates the dreamers from the doers. It is the key that unlocks productivity, achievement, and success. Without focus, you can have all the potential in the world, but you'll never see results. Focus is the ability to direct your energy, your time, and your efforts on a single task or goal, regardless of the noise that surrounds you. In a society that constantly pulls you in different directions, focus is what allows you to block out the distractions and put your attention on what truly matters. When you focus, you are saying no to everything that doesn't align with your vision. You are saying, this is my priority and I will give it my full attention, no matter what. What happens when you focus is profound. The more you focus, the more you begin to see progress. Small actions repeated with focus compound into massive results over time. But when you allow your attention to scatter even a little, you lose momentum. Think about how you feel when you're working on something and you get interrupted, whether by a text, a phone call, or something else. That interruption takes your mind off the task, and it can take minutes, sometimes even hours, to get back to the same level of focus you had before. Every time you let your attention wander, you lose valuable time. You're not working at your full potential. Focus is what enables you to work deeply. It's easy to be busy, to fill your day with tasks and check things off a to-do list. But being busy doesn't always mean being productive. True productivity comes from doing the most important work, the work that will move the needle toward your goals without getting sidetracked. The most successful people are the ones who know how to direct their energy toward their goals without letting the world pull them off track. They've mastered the art of focus. Think of your focus as a laser beam. When you shine a laser beam on a single point, it's intense, powerful, and capable of cutting through anything. But when you scatter that beam across multiple surfaces, it loses its intensity. The same goes for your energy. When you direct all of it toward one thing, it becomes incredibly powerful. But when you allow it to be split, it becomes weak and ineffective. Focus allows you to put your energy where it counts, maximizing your impact and results. But here's the hard truth: focus requires discipline. It's not easy to block out the noise, especially when distractions are designed to grab your attention. The constant stream of social media, emails, and the pressure to multitask, it's all an attack on your focus. Multitasking isn't a superpower, it's a myth. The more you switch between tasks, the less effective you become at each one. You might feel like you're being productive, but in reality, you're spreading yourself thin. When you try to do everything at once, you end up doing nothing well. Focusing on one task at a time is the key to high performance and success. To develop focus, you must create an environment that supports it. You have to take control of your surroundings. This means eliminating distractions. It means turning off your phone or putting it on silent. It means creating a dedicated workspace where you can concentrate. If you're serious about achieving something in 2025, you can't afford to let anything pull you away from your goals. You need to create a space, both physically and mentally, that fosters deep, uninterrupted work. In addition to controlling your environment, you also need to control your mind. Your thoughts are powerful, but they can also be your greatest distraction. When you allow negative thoughts or worries to consume you, you're taking your focus off the things that truly matter. Focus requires mental discipline. It means quieting the noise in your head and training yourself to stay present. Meditation, deep breathing, and mindfulness practices are excellent tools for sharpening your focus. The more you practice being present in the moment, the easier it becomes to stay focused on the task at hand. Setting clear goals is also essential to maintaining focus. Without a clear direction, it's easy to lose sight of where you're going. When your goals are vague, your focus becomes scattered. But when you set specific, measurable, and time-bound goals, your focus sharpens. You know exactly where you're headed and what you need to do to get there. Break down your goals into smaller tasks and tackle them one by one. This helps you avoid feeling overwhelmed and allows you to make consistent progress. Each time you complete a small task, you build momentum and your focus grows stronger. Focus also means saying no. In order to truly focus on what matters, you have to say no to things that don't align with your vision. This might mean saying no to opportunities, people, or activities that distract you from your purpose. It's not easy, especially when you're faced with FOMO, fear of missing out, or the temptation to please others. But you must recognize that saying no is one of the most powerful tools you have to protect your time and energy. When you say no to distractions, you are saying yes to your future. The truth is, focus isn't something you're born with, it's a skill that you can develop. It takes practice, consistency, and discipline, but once you learn to focus, you'll unlock your potential in ways you never thought possible. You'll stop wasting time on irrelevant tasks, and instead you'll channel your energy into the things that truly matter. You'll make faster progress, you'll achieve more, and you'll start to feel a sense of fulfillment that comes from doing the work that matters. If you want to make 2025 your year, focus is non-negotiable. You have to commit to focusing on your goals, focusing on your growth, and focusing on your future. The distractions will always be there, but if you learn to block them out, you'll find that your potential is limitless. Focus is the tool that will help you cut through the noise and make your dreams a reality. It's time to sharpen your focus, remove the distractions, and get to work. The future you want is waiting for you if only you can focus long enough to make it happen. Consistency is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's the small, everyday actions that accumulate over time and create massive change. Too often, people look for the big, dramatic breakthroughs or the quick wins, but the reality is that success is built on a foundation of steady, consistent effort. It's easy to get motivated for a short time and make a big splash, but what matters most is the ability to keep showing up day after day, even when the results aren't immediate and the progress feels slow. In today's world, we are conditioned to expect instant results. We live in an age of convenience where everything is available at the push of a button. But true success isn't instantaneous. It's earned piece by piece through consistent action. Whether it's in your career, your fitness journey, your relationships, or any other area of life, consistency is the secret weapon that will ultimately lead to success. Consider the example of someone trying to get fit. They might start by going to the gym or eating healthier for a few days or even weeks. They may feel good at first, but after a while, the motivation starts to fade. Maybe they miss a workout, or they indulge in unhealthy food. They start to wonder if it's even worth it because they don't see immediate results. But here's the key: results take time, and they come as a result of consistent effort. The person who shows up at the gym every day, even when they don't feel like it, even when progress seems slow, is the one who will eventually see results. They are building the habits and the discipline that will carry them through the tough days. It's not about being perfect, it's about showing up again and again and putting in the work. Consistency is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Everyone has big goals and dreams, but only those who show up consistently are the ones who will achieve them. It's easy to start something with enthusiasm, but it's the ability to keep going when the excitement fades that makes all the difference. It's easy to get distracted by the next shiny object, to jump from one idea to another without ever finishing what you started. But to make real progress, you need to stick with it, even when the results are not immediately visible. Look at the people who have achieved the greatest success in their fields. They didn't get there by jumping from one thing to another. They got there by putting in the work day after day, even when they didn't feel like it. They understood that success is a process, not an event. They understood that small, consistent actions lead to big results over time. They didn't let the obstacles or the setbacks deter them. They just kept moving forward. The key to consistency is developing the right mindset. You have to recognize that success is not a sprint, it's a marathon. And in a marathon, the pace matters. The goal is not to burn out after a few days of intense effort, but to keep a steady pace, pushing through the hard days and celebrating the small wins along the way. When you take consistent action, no matter how small, you're creating momentum. Momentum is the force that makes things easier and faster as you continue. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill. At first it's small and slow, but the more it rolls, the bigger and faster it gets. The same is true with your efforts. Consistency also builds your character. When you commit to doing something day after day, regardless of how you feel, you develop a sense of discipline and resilience. You learn to push through the discomfort. You learn that you are stronger than you think. And the more you stick with something, the more confidence you gain. Every time you follow through on your commitment, no matter how small, you prove to yourself that you are capable. You develop the trust in yourself that you can accomplish anything if you just keep showing up. But here's the thing about consistency, it's not always glamorous. It's not always easy. In fact, many days will feel like you're not making any progress at all. But that's when you need to remember that consistency doesn't always show immediate results. There are going to be days when you don't see the fruits of your labor and it may feel like you're spinning your wheels. But trust the process. Trust that every effort, no matter how small, is building towards something bigger. It may not always be visible on the surface, but under the surface, progress is being made. Consistency also involves learning from your mistakes. You're not going to get everything right the first time, and that's okay. What matters is that you keep showing up, even when you make mistakes. The key is to learn from them and keep going. Every failure is an opportunity to grow, to refine your approach, and to improve. Consistency isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. It's about the ability to get back up every time you fall, to keep moving forward no matter what. Another important aspect of consistency is accountability. When you commit to something, make sure you have a system in place to hold yourself accountable. This could mean sharing your goals with someone, setting a schedule, or tracking your progress. When you have someone or something to hold you accountable, you're more likely to stay on track. It's easier to stay consistent when you know that someone is expecting you to follow through.